Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the Digital Navigators of the Hudson Valley information session. If you are here to learn more about Digital Navigators, you are in the right place. We are recording today, so we can share this out with anybody who wasn't able to make it live. I'm going to go over some broad overview of the program, and then we will have time for Q&A. So if you have questions at any point, drop them in the chat. If I don't notice them, we will get to them at the end and try to make sure that we answer all your questions. But feel free to use the chat to do that. If you have a question that involves not being able to see or hear properly, feel free to unmute yourself and just stop me so I don't get too far into this without with anything that you've missed. So to get us started, I am going to try to. Yep, I already need a digital navigator to help me move my slides. Here we are. This is our digital navigator website, but that's not what I wanted to show you right now. I wanted to show you my slides. Slideshow. There it is. All right, so this is what we are going to go over today. We're going to start off with staff introductions. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about what a digital navigator is. We have two navigators here who are going to give testimonials. Then we're going to go over the details of what the Hudson Valley program is doing, and then we'll have time for Q&A. So as you might have already guessed, I'm Carolyn Bennett-Glauda from Southeastern New York Library Resources Council. I use the pronouns she, hers. I work here with Tessa Killian, who is our executive director. And I just wanted to show you this overview of all of the partners who've worked together to administer this program. And these are the people that you will come into contact with if you participate with us. So with us today, we have Megan Doyle from Ramapo Catskill Library System, and she is the contact there if you were from RCLS. We also work with Mid-Hudson Library System. That's Kirsten is our main point of contact there. And we are working with Westchester Library System, and the main point of contact there is Linda Smith. So for any of you who might be interested in this program, if you work in a library, that would be the person at your library system that represents you, could be a person that you can talk to answer any questions about any part of the program. We also partner with NDIA, the National Digital Inclusion Alliance, and Abby and Lo are the trainers that we've contracted with again for the summer. So they'll be working with us in order to help get all the digital navigators trained and to run our office hours. So what is a digital navigator? This program is what we have come up with to add digital equity to our social safety net. So that means digital equity and digital inclusion are two terms that refer to making sure that everybody has the resources they need to participate in society. And digital navigators address the whole digital inclusion process. That includes home connectivity, devices, and digital skills. Digital skills is a key component of our particular program. We do a lot of work with helping people use the technology that they already have. But we also train digital navigators to work with helping people with home connectivity and device acquisition. Digital navigators are familiar with resources that relate to digital equity and help residents learn to use critical online services that provide guidance with those social services. And digital navigators are able to assess the community member's need and completely guide them toward the resources that are suitable for both their skill level and lifestyle. So some of this might be work that you're already doing, and we will help you with the path that you're already on. Some of it might be new, and in that case, we have training that will help you and a whole community of people to help you become a successful digital navigator. So who are the digital navigators? They are individuals who work for or are closely affiliated with an organization and will take on digital navigator work in addition to their regularly assigned duties. That's the way that we run our particular program here in the Hudson Valley. There are digital navigators all across the country and in different parts of the world, in fact, who some of them work full-time and some of them are independently contracted. Some of them work at municipalities. Many of them work at libraries. Some of them just work at community-based organizations. But the way that we run our program is that it's like an additional duty as assigned. So the individuals in our program work with the public. That's one of the key things, is that you need to actually be meeting with people from the public. So it could be at a library, a community-based organization, or some other kind of facility. And most importantly, digital navigators are comfortable with technology, but not necessarily experts in the field. So what I always say is, like, you don't need to know the back end of things. You don't need to know how to do high-level programming, but you do need to be familiar with the world of technology and open to the idea of learning something new about people's technology. All right, so at this time, I'm going to go right into hearing from the current digital navigators from their experience in this recent group. And with us today, we have Diane from Yonkers Public Library and Lisa from the Dover Plains Public Library. So Diane, do you want to go first and talk a little bit about your experience as a digital navigator?
Absolutely. So, hi, folks. I'm Diane. She, hers. I'm a reference librarian at Yonkers Public. I guess what I've experienced, what I've learned, I guess, from digital navigator work is how much social support factors into it in a way that I never really realized. I've always sort of been impromptu IT at my institution. I'm got some existing familiarity with technology, and when other staff members don't know how to figure something out, how to troubleshoot something, I've often found myself in a position to deal with it when it's not big enough for IT to come deal with. And of course, those skills do definitely translate to digital navigators, but more than that, I've realized like how much being present with someone, how much expressing sympathy, assessing them like from right next to them contributes. You can offer a solution in anywhere, but as a digital navigator, I've learned to work with people, figure out what they're comfortable with, understand where they might have gotten their discomfort from, encourage them to deal with things that they're capable of dealing with on their own and to feel more confident. And it's really nice to see people grow in that way and to realize the gaps in my own understanding of what people can do. Like fairly recently, I realized a pretty significant majority of teenagers at my institution don't use email. They don't know how to use email. They set up an email account once to get on social media to create accounts, and that they never touched again. And realizing that has really helped me address like so many little missteps. And our printing system depends on email, and college applications depend on email. Like being conscious of that it's not just helping me improve people's experience of technology, helping them feel more equipped to apply to jobs, more equipped to find resources. It's bled back into my standard reference work and helped me patch holes in people's understanding I never would have realized were there. I've really appreciated the work. I mean, I also just really like solving tech problems, but it's more holistic than that, I guess.
Cool. Thank you, Diane. And you reminded me, one of the common questions that we've seen from clients is they come in asking, what is my email? Like as if they were assigned it and nobody ever told them. So that is, I've been amused that that has come up more than once, and knowing that that is the kind of help that's really necessary to talk people through just the basics that some of us have not realized that others don't swim in those seas. So, and Diane, thank you so much. We really appreciate your contributions. So, next up, Lisa, would you like to talk a little bit about your experience?
So hello, my name's Lisa King. I'm the Assistant Director at the Dover Plains Library in Wingdale. And so my normal job wasn't the tech person. I wasn't the go-to person to go for help. But when my director saw how much I loved just working with people who would come in with problems and helping, she thought I would be a good fit. Definitely don't know all the ins and outs and all the technical stuff, but now I know that I didn't really need to know that. So that was one of the little things that I was a little nervous about, because I'm like, well, what if I can't help with a problem? There's always people to help you though. So if you get stuck, they're there to help you. You can also, I do a lot of searching for myself too to find problems. My biggest challenge so far has been finding people to actually want to come and make the appointments. So it took me a good 2 months, I think, to finally get people to realize that what I'm doing. And my biggest supporters for that right now are the seniors. So we have a senior group that meets downstairs under the library in the Legion, and they have become my staunch supporters of Lisa, I need help with this. Now, a lot of times they're really quick one-offs, so I can't really count it as an appointment, because it's just something similar, as simple as maybe just like I can't find this, where's this app or whatever. But there have been a few where I've actually been able to sit with them for a good half hour, 45 minutes, and help them through problems, and they are so appreciative, and they are so happy to have you there to help, and that's been the most important thing. So now we have a bookmobile, and I just started taking my stuff onto the bookmobile. I'm hoping that people will come and find me while I'm out there and know that I'm there to help them. I also do notary services, so I'm trying to just let them know that I'm bringing it on the road, so I can come to you if you can't come to me. And it's been very, very eye-opening. I like it. I'll continue to do it. And that's it. Pretty much it. Just know that you don't have to know everything to be able to do this job and help people.
That's great. Thank you, Lisa. Also very much enjoyed having you be part of this cohort. And it's, when I say cohort, I do mean that's one of the benefits here too. Like, I know Lisa mentioned she had struggled with getting clients at first and was not alone in that. And there's a whole group of digital navigators here, and they were able to talk to each other and share ideas about how to kind of drum up business for digital navigators. And we have an active listserv where everybody shares what they are working on, and I've seen some wonderful ideas come through on that listserv, and great moral support among the rest of the cohort. So that's part of what you get with Digital Navigators of the Hudson Valley. I also have here in our this wall of text, which is a testimonial from Jackie Elmo, who has been through the program a couple times, and I don't think I'm going to read this all out loud. I'll just kind of freeze it here for a second if you want to take a look at what Jackie had to say. And I can send everybody the slides afterwards in case you want to read this more in depth. But she's been having a wonderful experience building up the Digital Navigator program in her very rural mountainous community where there are people that don't have a lot of access to the internet in their homes. And I also, Toby Farley was one of our active digital navigators, who feels that this has helped her become more comfortable with technology and knowing what people are going through in her community when it comes to technology. So we've got people who've really loved going through this program and found it to be beneficial. Before I get to the next spot, I guess I do want to pause for a second and just see if any of our guests here have any questions, or if there's anything I should clarify before we go into the details of how this summer cohort is going to work. So just give it a second. Does anybody here have any questions or follow-up or want to ask anything of the navigators? Okay, no worries if you don't, because there's still a big thing that I want to go over right now is talking about the requirements that we have for anybody who wants to participate in our cohort. So as you might know from our website, we will pay your organization $500 upon the navigator successfully completing the cohort's worth of work. So in order to do that, we have we provide your organization with a contract, and I'm going to go over some of the information that's going to be in that contract, so there's no surprises, and you know somewhat what to expect over the next 3-month period if you join Digital Navigators. So the first big thing is that on June 25th, the applications are due, and that is a hard deadline. Often around here, we extend our deadlines, but that one is definitely a hard deadline for the September, I'm sorry, for the summer cohort, because the following day, we're going to go through and approve the applications and get the cohort started. So once you get approved, things happen pretty quickly. So the first thing that we would ask you to do is there is a pre-recorded training video that's only an hour long, but it's an introduction to the program. So as soon as you get accepted into the program, we will send you a link to that recording, and you have until July 9th to watch that recording. And then the training starts on July 9th. It's the 9th, 10th, and 11th. And there are those sessions are all at 2 p.m. So the first two sessions are done by NDIA, and then the last session is done by us, where we go over some of the specifics of our Hudson Valley program. Before that starts, we'll ask for your signed contracts to come back to us, and the contracts need to be signed by the supervisor or manager or director of the program, because we only do this with institutional buy-in. So also the money is eventually paid to your institution, and it's up to you to do whatever you want with it. So your institution could pay you for your time, or you could use it to buy services, or it could just go into the general operating fund. The investment incentive that we give you is compensation for the time that you spend, because we acknowledge that adding Digital Navigator service onto your already scheduled services is an additional thing. So we want to pay you for your time. And we estimate it to be around $15 an hour. So that's how we've come up with the $500 number. You will officially be able to start work as a digital navigator as soon as the training is done. So we just call it July 12th, because on the 11th, we spend a lot of time playing with the forms and we put in fake data and stuff. So we wipe that all out. And then on the 12th, we start our digital navigator work in earnest. And then you have until September 30th to get all your paperwork in. And by paperwork, we just mean recording of all the interactions that you have as a digital navigator, and like confirmation that you finished your requirements. So, good question. What are the requirements? And for that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Megan Doyle from RCLS, who's going to talk a little bit about the requirements of the Digital Navigator program.
Hi, thanks, Carolyn. So yeah, the requirements are, it's not really a lot to ask. For the most part, for a lot of the folks who do the program, it is work that you are already doing as far as working with the clients. And so what we do is this the right slide, Carolyn?
Oh, sorry, this is about I went right into the requirements, but this slide is in the right place. But I didn't get a chance to talk about the training sessions. Wait, hold on, let me. I might have thrown to you too quickly. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. You know why? Because all these slides are the same color. I should color coordinate better, like I do in the rest of my life. Megan, can you hold that thought for just a second?
I sure can.
All right. I was like, yeah, it feels really early that we're just jumping right into the requirements. Okay, so what I meant to tell you is about the training sessions with NDIA and system staff. So this is what you're actually going to do for the training. And like Megan said, it's not that much. It's 3 days. They're an hour and a half each, those sessions. And we're going to introduce to you the field of digital inclusion and what we do in the Digital Navigator program. We're going to understand the audience and explain to you how to use intake forms and talk a little bit about what the day in the life of a digital navigator looks like. We're going to share skills and resources. So that's a big one. So we talk a lot about helping people find low-cost internet, find low-cost devices, and up their digital skills. And we are going to give you a whole bunch of resources so that you can find information about those things on specific websites, so that you'll have information about the broadband options that we have here in the Hudson Valley, the technology options that we have here locally to get refurbished devices, and the information that we have broadly about digital skills training. And then we're also going to talk about digital equity as like the big picture digital equity, and what's happening in New York State specifically with the digital equity plan, and a little bit about data, and a little bit about where there's access and where there's not access locally in our area. So once we do that training, we get to this implementation phase. And during that time, we're going to provide you with marketing materials. We hold bi-weekly office hours, and that's with all of the cohort, everybody who's in the summer, under contract for summer, as well as anybody from the previous cohorts that might want to join us. You will have that resource list that we just talked about. You will be expected to meet with at least 5 clients during that time. And when you meet with a client, you'll start with an intake form, and then you'll end with a session summary. And you have the option to also do a skill assessment with that client to find out if they have bigger goals than maybe just like a one-off question. And if you successfully complete the program, that means that you've had both the intake and exit form, the session summary for each client. You'll demonstrate that you've had 5 interactions. You will have attended the office hours. If for some reason something comes up and you can't attend the office hours, we take notes and we try to make them as comprehensive as possible so that you can catch up if you haven't been able to make the live meeting. We ask that you spend at least 5 hours of time researching and developing your program. We ask that you engage with the listserv, and in return, your organization will receive a $500 investment incentive. All right, Megan, now is the point where you can talk about, if you want to go into depth on those requirements and then talk about the additional requirements, that would be
Sure.
awesome.
Okay, so yeah, so like we just saw on the last slide that Carolyn was talking about, those are the requirements. Each of those things, the 5 interactions, the interact at least once with the listserv, the 5 hours of research time, which we'll be honest, the 5 hours of research time, of course, we're not there tracking it. Really, the reason we put that in there is so that you have some authority over your time. If you need to do some research, if a client comes and asks you something and you say, I need to go back and look this up, but maybe your director or your boss, or, depending on how your organization is set up, somebody says like, oh, I need to know why you're spending so much time on this. You don't have a client. That's not Digital Navigator time. You have the ability to say, oh, but I'm putting in my 5 hours. This is 20 minutes out of my 5-hour requirement. So it's really to give you the backup you need to justify spending time on this work, even if you don't have a client in front of you. And it could be 5 hours, could be less, it could be more, depends on really the needs of your community and the work that you're doing. Let's see. Oh, and then doing the forms. The forms are also the required part. So for each of those 5 clients, as Carolyn already mentioned, you have to do an intake form. That form is going to be the beginning. It's the starting point of this client is coming in and this is what they think they need to know, and this is where they're starting. It also has some demographics on it, which are optional for the client. If they don't want to do it, they're not comfortable with it, that's okay. We don't require it. But it's good for us to know because, as I will get to, we take all of this data and we tell a story with it, right? So for each client, we try to get that baseline information, and then we want that exit summary. After you've helped them, were they satisfied? Do they feel better about what they know? Are they going to come back? Do they need a follow-up? Some of that is information for you so that you know what you need to do to help make sure that you have completed this interaction to their satisfaction. And also some of it is for us so that we can show, again, telling that story. Is this program working? Are we meeting the needs of our communities? Are we spending this tax money that we are, we're getting, the tax money goes into the state, and then the legislators give us some of it and we use it on this program. And we want to be able to show them, look, this was money well spent. We are making a difference for these people. So we need those those forms so that we have the data so that we can tell those stories. So I think I hit all of those requirements, the 5 interactions. Oh, and the office hours. We do require when you're in the cohort, it is a requirement that you meet those, that you come to those offices. As Carolyn said, we know things happen. If you can't make it, that's fine. But we really need you to try to make every single one of those. Then there's the optional stuff, and thank you, Carolyn. The optional things, there are 5 different things here, and we ask that you do one of them. If you want to do more than that, that is amazing, and we would love it. But we do want you to at least somehow be promoting the program. So you could be doing that using those promotional materials, the marketing materials that we are going to provide to you. You could be doing some advertising. You could do a press release. You could put it in your newsletter. You could do some social media posting. We're only asking for one of these things, but we hope that you will be doing this one anyway. You want people to know. You're not going to get the clients if you're not telling them that you're there. So this one really you're going to be doing anyway. But in addition to that, we also would like you to try to coordinate maybe with an organization. Maybe there's an office for the aging in your town, or a senior rec center or something, and you connect with them and say, hey, I'm doing this service, and could you let the people who participate in that program know, and or you go over there and you spend some time. There are ways to make this work in your community, and so that's one option. We also would love to have folks who are doing the program, who are having good experiences, interact with the legislators in their area, or different elected officials. So you can coordinate with Carolyn, you could coordinate with me, or depending on where you are, Kirsten or Linda, and we would be very happy to set up meetings and have these conversations with the elected officials. Again, showing them that this is money well spent, that we are making a difference in their community. Because the more that we show them this is helping their community and they get elected, the more they want to support us back. And of course, we are always looking for ways to get the elected officials to support the libraries and other organizations in our areas. Also, you could represent the Digital Navigators at a conference. There's Net Inclusion, which was in Philadelphia last year. It's in Arizona next year. I went last year. It was amazing. I'm looking forward to going again. But there's all kinds of other conferences. There's NYLA, there is ALA for the folks in the library world, or, if you're in a different kind of organization, whatever conference makes sense for your organization. Talking about this work and the program, promoting it, and getting more people interested is always a good thing. And then the last option is an in-person event, and this would count too. If you can attend an in-person event, this entire program is completely virtual. Every office hours, everything you have to do, except for meeting with clients, that will mostly be in person. Everything you have to do for the training sessions is completely virtual. However, we have found that it is kind of nice to get together once in a while, meet each other face to face. So earlier this spring, we did an in-person event, and we just kind of had an informal meeting, and it was really nice to get to exchange ideas. It's a different kind of flow of conversation when it's in person. So it was really nice to be able to do that, and we hope to do it again. So if we have one of those and you're able to make it, that would satisfy these optional requirements as well. I think that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Megan. And thank
Sure.
you, Diane and Lisa. I think you've met this additional requirement, but this also would count as an additional requirement because you are helping represent us right now. Move screen. Okay, so as Megan mentioned, one of the things we do is provide you with marketing materials, because this, in many places, a digital navigator is a brand new concept, and it's going to take a little bit of work to get the word out and let people know that you are available for tech help. So with that in mind, Megan is holding up bookmarks right now. So that's an example of the bookmarks that we send you. We work with a printer so that we can help send you personalized bookmarks and personalized flyers that have your organization's name on them. We also have posters that we can send out to you, and we have buttons. Megan, do you have a button handy, or Diane or Lisa?
I actually just gave mine away. I was going to ask you when we're getting more of those.
Oh, well, we have a bunch. Oh, here, I found mine.
Okay.
Here, but I can't see it. Is that coming through okay?
Yes, looks good.
Yeah, so yes, oh, and there's Lisa's. So we send those to everybody who's in the program. We have these like giant stand-up banners if you have a nice big open space and you want one of those. And but to get started right away, we have social media posts, and that includes a like content for a press release, and we have downloadable materials and ideas that we keep on a website that we make available to you in the program. So you can take those and mix and match and use them in the way that makes the most sense for the way that your organization promotes things. All right, that is the end of my presentation. So as always, we try to make ourselves as available as we can to the digital navigators. A lot is done through the listserv so that we can all communicate with each other. And then if you are a member of a library system, you can reach out to any of us at the email addresses you see here. And I'm the program manager for the entire thing. So if you're not sure where you should go, you can always reach out to me and I'll either put you in contact to the right person, or I could probably help you answer your question right away. And I just wanted to say thank you so much. This program, as Megan mentioned, is funded by a mix of legislative aid and support from our 4 library systems, and we couldn't do it without the robust community support that we have. So at this time, I am going to stop my share and see if anybody has any questions or if anybody has any additional information that they'd like to share that we didn't go over.
Carolyn, you've got this down to a science.
I feel like if I did, I wouldn't stumble over my words as much as I do. But thank you, Megan, and thank you for being my backup for the things that I stumble over. Diane, go ahead.
I'll admit this slipped my mind when I was speaking, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the relationship building aspect of this, just because I think it's worth mentioning that it's been really easy to build ongoing dynamics with our digital navigator clients. I mean, of course, you always get someone who's grateful for your help fixing their tech issue just in day-to-day reference work. But I've been helping one particular client set up a GoFundMe for a couple of weeks, and including helping her navigate how that's going to interact with her social security. And I really feel like this is become a lasting relationship between librarian and patron. She's enormously complimentary, visits all the time, has massively stepped up her library use in general, I think, because I see her 3 times a week where I used to see her maybe once a month. It's both satisfying on a work satisfaction level and on a personal level, because I really do think I'm helping people and helping people in a way that makes them want to come back to me. It's been nice. It's a rewarding program in all kinds of ways, really.
Yeah, thank you for that. I like looking over the session summaries when I'm feeling down and like seeing all the changes in people's life status and like gratitude that comes through from the clients. It's kind of an immediate satisfaction sometimes. All right, I'm gonna not awkwardly. Oh, just no questions for me, but appreciate the time spent informing us. Can't wait to hear from the program again. Awesome. Yes, thank you. We can't wait to have you be part of the program. So if you haven't applied, Megan, do you have our website handy? We'll drop that in the chat in case you have not yet applied. You should apply today.
That's what I'm working on.
Okay, thank you. Because that's sort of the last piece. And this is one of those things where I don't want to say that we let everybody in, because we have had some people that couldn't do the program because they couldn't make the dates mostly, or because they didn't have the things that you need to be successful in this program is to be available for the training and for the office hours. If you are always working on Thursdays and can't get the time off, it's okay to miss once in a while, but if you have to miss everything, you're not going to have as much success as if you do have the ability to attend the live meetings. That's pretty important. So we do ask that you make an attempt to modify your schedule to make those meetings as much as possible. And that's the other thing, is just having some regular hours so that you can meet with clients. It's very difficult to do this work if you are so part-time that you don't have like people, if clients are coming in to see the Digital Navigator and the Digital Navigator isn't there, they're going to get frustrated and they're eventually going to give up. So just having some consistent scheduling where people can meet with you. Our navigators they operate, some have office hours where it's, every Tuesday at a certain time. And some are by appointment, and some have really nice like appointment scheduling software that integrates into the website. And some of it is just, pick up the phone and call, because of course we're helping people who are working through their technology needs. So having some low-tech ways of making appointments is always a helpful thing. But just being able to make those appointments or have those set office hours is going to be extremely helpful. So those are the basic requirements that are non-negotiable, and also having a good temperament to work with people. But as long as you have those, we really want you to be involved. So this is not a super highly competitive application process. If you meet those basic requirements, we would love to have you. Thank you everyone who came today. Thank you if you're watching this recorded. Thank you for taking the time to watch the recording. Please reach out to us, and we really hope to see you in the summer cohort. And this is where I awkwardly look for the part of Zoom where the pause button is. It used to be up there and now it's over there. And there it is.